Holy damn, we've just moved to the to the fourth stage and it's ridiculous. The amount of enemies that are here and the damage that they do is insane. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rilo and welcome to probably the best mod combinations within Risk of Rain. So today we are playing with a very popular mod that probably most of you have heard of, called Starstorm 2. And this mod adds quite a plethora of additional items, some enemy variations and some few new survivors. And in this case we are playing with one of the new survivors called the Executioner. It's quite a powerful little character, somewhat difficult to get strong because his main attack isn't really that strong, but quite a powerful character nonetheless. It has a few nice abilities. It has its dash ability, which will basically fear them and allow you to execute the enemies. Then your normal alternate fire ability gives you like this massive cannon that you can fire, which shoots these massive bolts, and they get recharged by killing enemies. You'll see once we kill an enemy, we get additional charges coming to us, and we can then use it accordingly. Then our ultimate ability allows us to jump into the air and smack the ground, basically executing the enemies on the ground. It does quite a bit of damage, but it is quite a slow ability to use, so I would use it sparingly unless you really have the opportunity to do so. The other mod that we are playing with is an all-time favorite of mine called More Difficulties, and at the moment the difficulty is set to Armageddon, which is the very most difficult difficulty that you can set it to. It basically enables infinite scaling of your enemies, reduces your health regen by 50%, gives them, I think it's the opal, the oddly shaped opal, as one of your starting items, and basically makes it just that your scaling is insane. I mean, you can already look at the level. We're already at level 3 and we're only 2 minutes within this particular run. So for the first stage, I want to be here for about 10 to 15 minutes, but really don't want to be here any longer. Just need to stack up some quite nice items that we can take on the teleporter event, which will be quite a bit more difficult than what we used to. So for now, we're just gonna kill a few enemies, get the needed items, and hopefully get strong enough to take on the teleporter event, because I have had a few attempts with the teleporter event this time around and it wasn't easy whatsoever. So with that, I think there's quite a few items that we've dropped already. We've picked up one of the Starstorm 2 items, which is called the Man O' War. Basically like an electrical shock, very similar to your ukulele, but this happens on kill and it jumps to the closest enemy next to it. And it does seem like it does quite a decent chunk of damage. This next item that I also do like is called Malice. It applies the damage to nearby enemies as well. I think there is already a similar item in the base game, or it might have been a different mod that I've used in my previous Goku and Vegeta mods. But still, a very powerful item. And there's also a... I can't remember the item name, but it does some trickle damage to your enemies once they get to 25% health. Which is very, very powerful, especially due to the amount of regen that these guys have. So we're going to run around, get a few nice and strong items and get ourselves strong enough to take on the teleporter event. Because Starstorm 2 does feel like it makes it a little bit more difficult to take on the teleporter, or just your enemies in general. So we need to be sure that we are strong enough to take it on, but also not wait too long that it's practically impossible to take them on. So we're going to run around, find a few items and see how strong we can get. As in the good old-fashioned flow that we go with Risk of Rain, we have found somewhat strong items, but definitely not nearly strong enough for us to really take advantage of it. The one item that I was mentioning earlier is called the Termitoad. It's this thing. So, like I said, it does damage to low health enemies, which is really effective, especially against your very high health bosses, because that trickle damage makes a massive, massive difference. And for this character, we do want to increase our attack speed, especially, and get some on-hit items like your bleeds and your crits, because those will be very, very effective for this particular character, because you don't really have too much of our abilities to rely on, and most of them seem to be on-hit or attack kind of abilities. So we are getting quite a decent amount of items, but not nearly enough for the kind of items that I would have liked. But again, never neglect your defensive items, because I have neglected it in the previous runs and that kind of caused the end of it. So you are going to get some defensive items as well, not to be just overly be a glass cannon, because glass cannon isn't always the way to go, and we will get strong eventually. So early get some defenses, just be sure that you stay alive, and not get one-shotted, because with Armageddon, the one-shot capability of these guys are, like, everyone can one-shot you. It doesn't matter what kind of enemy it is. If it's a supposedly weak or powerful enemy, everyone one-shots you. So you need to be very careful with not taking defensive items. I did get one tough at times, which isn't nearly enough. I think some of them we need some of your out-of-combat healing and on-hit healing items, because those are way more powerful than you might think. So I think we have enough items now to take on the teleporter event. We do have quite a few defensive items and we do have quite a few damaging items, so we should be strong enough. It's a little bit over the 10-minute mark, which I usually use as my maximum for the Armageddon mod, but yeah, we try to still be strong enough, because if you don't, you're just gonna die instantly. So I think we can start the teleport event. Hopefully wherever we get isn't too bad. It's always the Stone Titans. They are always a menace for me to deal with. I despise them. But let's just get some decent cover and heal, because yeah, you don't want to be in the direct line of sight from them. So hopefully you can just trickle the one down. Yeah, one of them is down. Just get rid of this monstrosity amount of enemies that are near us, because that was way too much than I expected. Let's get around here, try and trickle off this guy. So like I said, with that one item that we do have, we should be able to trickle him off. But the healing is so insane, it's going to be quite a difficult thing to do. Especially with all of the other guys all around us, it's quite hectic. But I think we should be okay. Just get our procs to go off. And then we can hopefully soon trickle that guy. Just wait for his attack. Yeah, there we go. Now we have the trickle damage on him, so we should be fine. Yeah, we just need to get that trickle damage onto the other ones as well. It's doing 44 damage per shot. That's incredibly good. Yeah, let's not get caught in those little rocks that they splurge upwards. Okay, so that guy's also trickling. That's great. I just need to get the last one to be at a health level where we can get him to trickle down with his health as well. So you can try and focus him a little bit. I think we're very close to that. Oh, get all of them feared. Okay, I think we have the needed charges to do so. Yeah, great. He's also trickling down. We are golden. There we go. That's exactly what we want. We'll set up a command queue for all of these items that have dropped, because I don't really want to risk it now to pick them up, because yeah, we're not going to make it. So we're going to charge up the teleporter event, and we'll see what items we have and what we can get, and then head on to the second stage. Also, we've moved on to the second stage. We got some of our basic items, mainly our bands, and then one of the other Starstorm items called the Molten Coin, which has a chance to inflict a burn effect on the enemy, and then also give us some extra gold if we do that. So quite a nice little item to get. We have gotten a few defensive items, nothing too serious and nothing enough. I still need a lot of defensive items. There's a lot more to be desired with that. We do have some of the healing and out of combat healing, but it's not nearly enough. And then some of these Starstorm items enemies have spawned, like these little guys. So yeah, some enemy variety as well. But we need to be very careful with these guys, because the difficulty is going to ramp up quite exponentially now. So we really need to focus on getting defensive items as soon as possible. And defeating these guys, because now bosses are just spawning in as random enemies. Which, yeah, isn't fun. We've also got Death Mark now, so this should be a massive, massive help for us. So Death Mark basically helps us to do bonus damage when we have additional or a certain amount of debuffs applied to them. Oh no, please don't explode on my face and catch me off guard like that. That is not great or fun in any way. So still quite a bit of damage or items to get. Like I said, it's going to get exponentially more difficult now. And need to be way more careful around the enemies that we get, because these guys are very dangerous. And your wisp as well. So yeah, we'll get some more items and get as strong as possible. That's kind of the goal here. We found the teleporter for the second stage, and I've gotten quite a few significantly stronger items. One of them being your ceremonial dagger, which killing an enemy releases some homing daggers, which I think is pretty damn cool. And we gotten some topaz brooches, and this is just for additional shielding. And then the ATG missile, which will just help us get some chunky damage off onto whatever enemy we're attacking, because it has quite a lot of single target damage. I think we are quite strong to take on the teleporter event, so we might be able to do it quite soon. We are already past the 10-minute mark for this particular stage, so we might as well get ourselves ready and prepared for that. We are starting to get some crit damages, and that's why I'm taking the Predatory Instincts, which critical strike increases our attack speed. So which for this character, again, it's going to be a very powerful item to get. We're going to start off the teleporter event. I think they should die quite quickly. I have no clue what these guys do. So hopefully it's nothing too serious that I can't deal with. Okay, never mind. That wasn't too bad. I think we dealt with them very efficiently. So for now, we're just going to get some crits. We have maxed out our bleed, so we do have 10 of the bleed items. So each and every attack that we do will apply a stack of bleed to the enemy, which is exactly what we want. Let's get how many... Okay, I have 10 tougher times. We might need to just lower off a little bit on them and get some additional boss damage. And then for this, we will need to get your Harvester Scythe for those healing, or basically regen that we get when we do crit. And since we are going to do 100% crit, it's a no-brainer to get that particular item. I think let's get our Man of War again. That's that's an item that we've unlocked from the Starstorm 2 mod. Pretty cool. So for now, we're just going to charge up the teleporter event and get to the next stages. And hopefully, yeah, we'll see how far we can get, because we need to get to Mithrix and we need to be strong enough for that. So the stage before we get to that, we just need to make sure that we farm quite a bit of items. And then we can try and take him on. Hopefully, we'll be able to defeat him, because it's going to be a very tough boss fight. So we're on the third stage now, and yeah, the enemies have gotten quite a significant amount stronger than they used to be. I think we are also pretty strong at this stage. You'll see now when I use my alternate attack, it's extremely powerful. So we'll see if there's another boss enemy that spawns somewhere. It's very strong. But we just need to be very careful, because we don't really have as much defense as I would have liked. So it's good, but it's still not one-shot protected. Well, your base health is, but I mean, they do so much damage in such a short period of time. It's ridiculous how quickly they can kill you. So we do have quite a significant amount of items. Like, just look at this. That's ridiculous. You can get extra charges for this. So with your backup magazines, we can get, I think the base is 10. But for every backup magazine, it does increase by 1, so you can really make that super duper strong. I do think we are strong enough to take on the teleporter event, though. I think we have enough crowd control kind of abilities and area of effect abilities that we shouldn't need to worry too much. As you can see there, it's it's quite ridiculous. Can I get stronger? Do I want to get stronger? Yes, definitely. That's always a goal that we want to get to. So we do have the teleporter right over here, so I think we might as well just get an item or two and probably take it on. But I think after the teleport event, there's going to be quite a significant amount of enemies that will be able to give us some items. There we go. Let's Get some additional charges. I love that. These charges are incredible, and it basically stacks with your attack speed, it seems like. Yeah, I need to get away from them. They are all going to spawn in at one location. There we go. That wasn't too bad. That was actually quite easy. But yeah, at this stage we are very, very strong. Not yet as strong as we want to be. I don't think it's strong enough for Mithrix, really. But still in a very, very good state. Chance to expose enemies to guaranteed critics. Okay, but I do have 100% crit, so I don't think that's going to be that good of an item. I'm just trying to figure out what these items do. So I think we're just going to take the usual items that we know. I think most of the... This is a new one. Let's see what this... Level up. Now entering a stage. Consume on use. Okay, I have no clue. It does something, I guess. Holy damn. We've just moved to the... to the 4th stage, and it's ridiculous. The amount of enemies that are here. And the damage that they do is insane. We need to be very careful on this stage, as it's one of the more difficult stages on stage 4, especially due to the level of them being basically at 70. That's a crazy, crazy amount. But the nice thing about this particular location, there's a very, not so secret chest if you played the game for a little bit, that will guarantee a red item. Like right here. We need 19,000 gold. Okay, we already have 19,000 gold, so we'll open it up very, very soon. Then we can decide what particular item we want to take. I think every chance-based item is usually very good to get, so we might get the clover. Since we do have Artifact of Command, we can just take the clover, which increases our luck for most of the chance-based items, which I believe is a very good thing to have. So we've maxed out our crit. So I think from a damage perspective, you might get a few crowbars, which basically does more damage if they are at 90% health, and will help us to usually one-shot most of the smaller little guys, especially these ones. It will help with that. We need to try and be able to one-shot them, because otherwise they'll just overwhelm us entirely. So at this stage it looks very eerie, it looks very dangerous, so we'll need to... oh, okay. Just casually spawn a bunch of magma worms. Nice. Exactly what you would like. These guys aren't any fun to deal with. They are down. Let's get some additional harvester sites for some healing. And for this, yeah, let's amp up our attack speed. I think attack speed is our way to go for now for some of the white items that we get. But we're on a very good spot. I mean, super, super strong. I don't want to stay on these stages for too long. Otherwise, Mithrix will just become even more difficult. Let's just get out of their way. There we go. Yep, I'm just gonna charge the teleport event. I believe it's 1 or 2 more stages before we get to Mithrix, so we need to capitalize on most of the items that we can get now. So, crowbars and attack speed. As a Mithrix will take your items, you need to be careful with that when we get to him. So, if you can do that burst damage and kind of skip that item stealing portion of it, I'm gonna try my best to do so. We've made it to stage 5, and this is the stage pre to getting to Mithrix, and definitely gonna be quite a challenging stage because we are at level 91 already, so the scaling of these guys are gonna be insane. I think the amount of damage that we are doing currently is quite significant, but it doesn't mean we can just have a little bit of a no care kind of attitude. Still need to be very, very careful that these guys don't catch us off guard. Let's see, where's the teleporter? Ah, those guys are a little bit too far for us to reach. So I just need to find the teleporter so you can kind of get stuck around in that little area. A little bit more health, and again, attack speed is going to be our friend. I think it's usually going to be around either down there somewhere. Yeah, I see the little glistening area. It's going to be down there. So head over there and stay there for just a little bit and get some more additional damaging items. Because we will definitely need it. But we don't want to stay here for too long. Because if we do stay here for too long, again, the scaling will get so intense. You won't be able to defeat him no matter what you try. Because it is already a very difficult fight to begin with. That's some crazy damage. Ooh, another red item is dropped. Nice. I think we need to get Sharpening Justice to reduce the armor. Because they do gain a lot of armor on Armageddon, so we do need to get any form of armor reduction that we get. You can already see it makes a massive difference. So we're going to collect a few more items and then we'll start the teleporter event. Just again, we don't want to stay here for too long, otherwise we're going to have a very, very tough time. So we started the teleporter event. We basically insta-killed whatever was there. Yeah, I think we are very, very strong. We should be able to take Mithrix on quite easily. I accidentally forgot to record the little portion where we killed them because I stop and start the recording as we go along. So, a bit of an unfortunate event. We have unfortunately died. Yeah. A bit of a difficult kind of mod combination, a very difficult, like, yeah, having to play on Armageddon and playing with Starstorm. They just get so powerful that they basically one-shot me. I couldn't really do anything. So, yeah, very difficult, very fun mod. I really, really do enjoy this kind of mod gameplay from Risk of Rain. And I'm definitely going to go play this with some of my future streams. So, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.